Hello, my name is Jenny.
And my name's Eury.
And welcome back to the Conscious Cuppa podcast, Season 4, where we'll be exploring the Divine Feminine. And if you've never heard of the term Divine Feminine, you're not alone.
Curious about what she has to do with creating your reality, realising your dreams, and being and having what you do want? Then stay tuned to find out more.
Eury, what if I really desire something that's out of reach?
She'll give you a hand up, Jenny.
But what if I want something I've been told is impossible?
She's got it in her infinite storehouse.
Yeah, but what if I've got myself seriously stuck?
She'll get you moving again.
And if my world is falling apart?
She can pull it back together.
Come on, who is she, really?
Here's a taste of what our fabulous guests had to say about what the Divine Feminine means to them.
The anatomy of the female body and how that influences identity and sense of how we experience the world, just because of everything being inside.
The magic that relates the female body to the cycles of nature.
The untouchable spirit of that thing.
The ability to create, to make, to imagine.
Like a warm, light glow.
It's been within all things.
Definitions of words are really interesting, and how everybody defines words is different. So for me, I kind of took the two words, and I'm not really thinking about the feminine part of the word, but thinking about the divine part of the word, and what does that mean? You know, when we think of divine, I think of, you know, perhaps treating somebody in a gentle manner, in a gentle way, you know, showing care. So I think definition of a word is really important, because we all think about things in a different way.
We made this podcast to big up this overlooked, unappreciated, and infinitely intelligent divine mind who resides in all of us. So grab a brew, take a pew, and let's give the Divine Feminine her due.
Get kettle on.
Fancy a brew, huh?
Not just any brew.
I think I know what you need.
Conscious Cuppa, babe.
What have we got in our cups today? What are we sipping on?
Well, we've got some amazing Chinese tea all the way from China, and one of our amazing guests, Katrina. So thank you, Katrina. I'm not quite sure which tea mine is, because it's in Chinese. And I don't read Chinese.
Well, it was written on the pack, and now I've thrown the pack out.
Oh.
You said it smelled amazing.
It smells absolutely fantastic. It's kind of honeyish. It's kind of sweetish. Let's have a taste. Oh, it's a beautiful. It's going all over the place. It's funny because the cup was a gold. The packet was a golden colour, and the tea has come out a rich golden colour as well. I have spilt it all over Jenny's desk, so she's gone to find something to mop it up with, which isn't unusual for me. Did you put honey in it?
No.
Wow, it really smells of honey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's honey tea then.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Okay, I'm going to do mine. You had the brownish colour, and I had the black one.
They look similar colour. Oh, yours is much more a wheaty kind of oaty, toasted flavour.
Well, that's appropriate, isn't it?
I don't know, is it?
Well, you're gluten-free. I'm very much a wheaty kind of... Oh, that's good. That's really nice and strong.
Is it? Yeah, mine's quite...
I don't like when tea is weak.
Yeah, it just doesn't taste of anything.
It's just like, what? Come on. This is generous. This is very generous.
Yeah.
We hope you've got something wonderful in your cup, in your flask, in your glass. Cheers.
Cheers.
You're listening to Conscious Cuppa.
So, this Divine Feminine, we need to kind of give an overview of what we've discovered about her. Because this idea came about more than a year ago, right? Because originally
it was going to be about the films.
Season 4 was going to be all about movies and what movies you should watch, like that Matrix, or what the bleep do you know?
But in true imaginative form.
Yeah.
So you were given an idea out of the blue, really, that said,
no, Phil's going to have to wait.
Do the Divine Feminine.
We need you to do the Divine Feminine.
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
And when I say we need you to do the Divine Feminine, I just guess it was just like something in me just agreed that was more important. But I don't even remember where that came from.
No.
And I just thought, okay.
I can remember when you told me about it. You were like, we were going to do the films, but like I've had this other idea that's come to me. And I was like, wow. And you're the film buff. So I was like, this is going to take us on a mutual exploration, really, because neither of us understood what it was, and both of us were very curious.
I had no idea, and the amount of notes that I've been amassing about what I thought the Divine Feminine was, before I'd done any real research, what does it mean? I amassed so much, and you said you did as well, and then in the last week, we had to condense this down to like 3 statements about who she is, what she is, and then 3 statements about why she's important. But what I did know right at the beginning was this is an underappreciated part of our existence.
Well, it also came about, I mean, we knew that this was confirmed to us, one, because we didn't know what it was about, and we'd done some kind of, this is our 4th season, so we had been doing some reading and some research and stuff, and talking to a lot of people, actually, having lovely discussions, and then when we went to do the recording, we were like, okay, we're not alone.
Yeah. And one of our guests, Melissa, said, feminine is not really a word I would normally have in a sentence. I do talk about divine, but I didn't really... I just kind of had this feeling that there's a big part of this experience that humans are having, especially in the Western culture, that leaves out the feminine principle, the female principle, and that is part of the problem of Western culture. I'm not going to say that I still think that, but that was the kind of initial kind of tone that I had. There's a big part of how we think and feel and imagine that is missing out on something very important that makes us stuck. And when I say stuck, I don't mean stuck as a culture. I just mean stuck in like we find it hard to achieve the things that we want to.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, I think the Divine Feminine's got something to do with that always missing the point, missing the mark, missing the accomplishment, the goal. We're missing the goal. We're ending the game and it's still 0-0.
Yeah. I think for me, it resonated so much when in the last series we were talking about King Solomon and Queen Sheba. And I don't know, it was something that so resonated about that story that somehow spoke to me about the Divine Feminine, and also obviously my own experiences, calling to investigate the sage, and really feeling like that was also the Divine Feminine. So I think we were both called to do this and share this through the podcast, which is really exciting.
And I've learned so much.
So
I had no clue, and I think just trying to articulate it has helped to clarify things for me and look at my own practice when I am imagining, when I am thinking, when I am feeling, realising the impact that has on me and therefore the environment that I live in.
Yes.
Both in my little world and in the greater world. So, let's answer the question, who is the Divine Feminine? What does the Divine Feminine mean to you? To you, Eury, to me, Jenny, and therefore to us
as imaginative beings.
So, number 1.
The divine feminine is the storehouse, this infinite creative possibility. She, there's nothing impossible to her. You go to her storehouse, you love Harry Potter, and I think part of that is
the room of requirement
yes.
you're talking about, from the Order of the Phoenix story.
Yeah, that delights my child.
Yeah.
So understanding that if I have a dream, if I have a want, if I have a desire, she really helps me to achieve it.
So when we say the storehouse, we're talking about essentially, you can think of it as the warehouse of possibility that lives within you. And you could also call that imagination. But storehouse is a really good way of thinking of it. It's like everything possible, and that is infinite possibility, resides within this part of your mind. So there's the mind that we use to go about our daily business, but there's a hidden mind that contains all possibilities about everything that you could possibly want and even don't want. But
yes.
by thinking and feeling about things, she's going to pick it out of the storehouse and put it in your world.
So that comes on to number 2, the womb of creation,
Uh-huh.
weaving the physical realm into existence. So this is the invisible labour. She gives birth to what you've said you want.
Or what you don't even realise you've said you want, but you've been thinking and feeling about it.
Yeah.
And so her role as part of the mind of creation is, I heard you thinking about that and feeling about that. Okay, we'll set that up for you tomorrow or next week or the month after.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whether it's good or bad for you.
And the only currency of that is feeling.
The currency of that is feeling. So that's the way that we speak to each other.
And it's whether you think of currency as a vibe, it's really that vibration that you create through feeling.
Your emotions.
Yes.
Yeah. A flavour.
Yeah. So number 3 is complement to desiring. So I think that's to do with her counterpart, the divine masculine.
Of course. If there's a divine feminine, there must be a divine masculine. These two work together.
This is the yin-yang.
This is the yin-yang. So when we think of divine masculine, this is the conscious part of the mind. The feminine part of the mind is the subconscious mind. It's the bit of the iceberg that's all underneath the water, the hidden part.
Yeah.
And it's the greater part. It's the realm of causes. The masculine part of each and every one of us is the conscious waking mind. The mind that goes about the daily business with its eyes open, or, well, not so open sometimes, but what we call the conscious mind, the stuff that you know. Whereas the subconscious mind is the thing that you are, you think you really are. So in a way, that's saying, all these two are obviously joined, but the greater part of you is the part of you that is subconscious, where there's everything possible. And then it's kind of like everything that's on the physical realm is the gift you've given yourself out of that storehouse.
Okay. So you're going to answer another question about the divine feminine.
Why is she important? Why are we doing this podcast?
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay, so now we know she's the subconscious part of the mind that is holding everything. Why is that important? What is she doing that makes her so important to us? She relieves me of having to arrange things. Now, how does she do this? When I think and feel about something that I want or who I think I am, she's going to arrange everything on this physical level. So when I wake up in the morning, she has already rehearsed in my sleep where I'm going to go, who I'm going to talk to, what I'm going to buy, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to be given, everything. So she arranges all of that, which means I don't have to go and arrange it. That is to say, if I want something, I need to go to her first, go to imagination and imagine that I've got the thing or I am the person that I want to be. And then instead of me having to do all the legwork and the phone calls and so on, not to say you won't do legwork and phone calls, But she does all the...
She takes the effort out of it.
She takes the effort out of it, but more importantly, she has already written the script.
Yes.
For the next day, the next week, the next month. And you're just going along with that script. Mate, it might seem like you're not, but you are. You're going along with the script. And the only thing that you can change at that point, you can abort the whole thing, of course, and replace it with a different desire, a different want, a different fulfillment. Or you can change how you react to what happens when you meet that person, when you're given that thing. You can change how you react to it so that you're not stuck in that Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
She has infinite intelligence, so she knows how, what, who, when, and where. She knows all of that. So you don't have to. It takes all of that out of it. And that's the gift of it. So
she's really a gift. She's
a time saver.
Giver. Yeah.
She's a time saver and space saver. Secondly, she's non-judgmental. The
sage.
She doesn't care. And when I say I don't care, she don't care. She's not like, I don't care. She's more...
Whatever you want,
whatever
you
want, you can have. Because I have it in my storehouse.
Yeah.
So she's not saying, well, I don't think that's such a good idea. She's non-judgmental about what it is you think and feel. She's going to give you exactly what you think and feel. You don't have to have a conversation about it. She's just going to give you what you decide. And she's unconditional. And that means that there's nothing that you have to do first in order to have the thing you want or to be the person you want. There's no strings attached. There's no, well, unless you do this first. It's only if you do this first, then I can arrange that for you. No, I'm just going to arrange it. Which means nothing's impossible to her.
Yeah. So if you can feel it, then it's possible.
Yeah, and so even if you can't articulate if I can't articulate to myself exactly what I want this thing to be, but I should know how it would feel if I had it. Or how I would feel if I was that person.
So you gave me a really good shortcut to that, because I was finding some of this a bit hard.
Okay.
And the shortcut you gave me is, if it's something I really want, just to say, wow, and just keep that thing in mind and just say,
that feeling.
Wow. And that really encapsulates that that energy, that currency, that vibration that I need to have in order to magnetize myself to this number 13, having the thing I want.
Ties in nicely with smiling. I think smiling on the inside is a nice quiet version of that. But they work well together as well, because you only need to say the wow once.
Yes, and it makes you smile.
Then everything after that is just this wonderful, peaceful, faithful smiling on the inside. Say, this is great. I have it. I am it.
Yeah.
The last one is, the reason why she's important is change can only come through union with her. So if you need change in your life, or if you want to see change in the world, in your world in particular, it can only come through her. So without
you need the divine feminine,
this union with her, which is an impression upon your own self, upon your own mind.
So this wow impression of what you do want
is going to create an expression
in
the world for you to experience and for you to enjoy. But because she's not judgmental, you can also impress yourself
with the same old thing that you don't want.
Or even worse.
Yeah.
And she's going to give you that regardless of whether or not it's good for you or bad for you. And so this is the learning that this experience gives us, is choosing what it is, choosing wisely, choosing what would be a better thing to think and to feel in order to get or have what it is you want or need, what is best for yourself, your community.
And it goes back to this fun thing that we do at the beginning of the show that says, what if there's something out of reach? So all of us have had that moment where there's something out of reach, something that's, someone's dismissed as impossible, or you've dismissed as impossible, that you feel stuck in, that you feel your world's falling apart. I mean, I've definitely had that just recently, and doing this podcast and remembering and reminding myself of this practice and really ingraining has helped immensely. So if any of you are feeling like that, she's the girl for you, man.
She's a lover, she's a wife, but she's a midwife. And in terms of the feeling of like gender and so on, masculine and feminine, this is the language that we're going to be using in this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's not to say this is a husband and wife in the traditional sense of the Western culture. This is spiritual language.
Yes.
So we're going to have to think about this slightly differently. This is not somebody who is in service to you, and yet there is serving happening. I think what's going to be coming up, because Neville Goddard's going to give us some nuggets that's going to remind us this isn't about you being in charge of somebody.
Yes.
This is about you working with.
Collaborating.
Because
co-producing.
Because you are both it. And at some points you are her and she is you.
Yeah.
And you are he and he is you. It's as with the whole mystery.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit confusing. But what we will say is when you're awake, you are the conscious mind, and it's your role to think and feel what is beneficial to you and the people in your world.
Yes.
And when you are asleep in particular, there is things going on in the background that is more to do with your subconscious mind, who is going to arrange the tomorrow for you.
And that's why it's so beautiful as you're falling asleep and you're waking in the morning to have this wonderful practice of wow and being evoking the feeling that you want to have in your world.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps give us the overview of our understanding of who the Divine Feminine is. She's this non-judgmental, amazing storehouse who is a complement to your waking mind, who's willing and able and infinitely intelligent and infinitely capable of fulfilling what it is you need.
Yes.
Du lytter til en bevidst kop te.
Sorry?
Oh, what was I supposed to Oh, sorry, yes. You're listening to Conscious Cuppa.
You can send in your questions and suggestions to consciouscuppa@gmail.com. That's consciouscuppa@gmail.com.
So this is what we do. We asked 30 people to pick from 13 lollipop sticks and gave them 5 minutes to talk about the subject written on the stick they chose.
The lollipop stick subjects are a callback to Season 3 and the Bunny Rabbit Solution Spiral Path, the creative steps one takes to turn a thought into a thing. So, we have these 13 lollipop sticks, and each one is going to give us an episode. And let's tell everybody what those sticks said on it, what we asked those 30 people.
So, happy endings for all. Reaping the benefits.
Okay, here's another one. Daydreaming and getting in touch.
Nourishment. Feeding yourself.
We've also got uplifted and joy and bliss.
Compassion for others. Compassion for oneself.
We have peace of mind and faith in life.
Starting it again and feeling secure.
We got transformation and big changes.
Curiosity and hopefulness.
We have accommodating and feeling at home.
Letting it all go, clearing out.
And lastly, getting gifts and receiving help, which is going to be the next episode.
Lovely.
But this episode we'll be talking about compassion. Compassion for oneself and compassion for others. And so glad and grateful for the generosity of our guests, all 30 of them, sharing their insights, their understanding, their experience and words of wisdom.
We learned so much and we hope you do too. And of course, we'll be sharing some golden nuggets from Neville Goddard, whose book Feeling is the Secret, which has provided us with a rich understanding about the subconscious and conscious mind.
Excellent. So first up, you're going to hear from Andrew, then Alex, and Cori. Then we're going to hear from Noushin, Mandy, Desiree, and Joan.
Lovely.
Ooh, compassion for oneself and compassion for others. Ooh.
Okay.
Wait,
5
can I do
minutes.
both?
You can do both.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start again. Yes, you
Yeah?
can do both.
Fab, okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Yeah.
Yep.
So compassion for others, what do I think about? I think about a number of different things. I think there's the kind of basic thoughts. So I immediately think of hugging other people in their time of need. I think of being with people. So actually, I was at this great thing with you the other day, and I was talking to some of the guests that were there, and we were talking about the best way to talk to someone about mental health. It was great. We were at the table and so on. And my immediate thought there was talking about myself. So if someone else is going through something, it's really easy for me to connect with someone by saying, I have gone through something similar. So, you know, if you're going through depression at the moment and you're having a really tough time, I could say, yeah, I did something similar, and kind of create that bridge of empathy. And by using that bridge to connect with someone, that creates a connection with other people and therefore compassion with them. I don't know. I think compassion is really multi-layered in the ways that you can show it and what it means to other people. So some people you need like really overt compassion, like I said, the hug earlier.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling down, sometimes giving someone that hug and that physical contact shows them the compassion, allows them to feel it. Sometimes it's also distraction. For me, at least, you don't have to directly say, you know, oh, you've broken up with your girlfriend. Okay, let's talk about that. Maybe sometimes it's, let's park that for a minute. Let me take your mind away from that and immerse you in something else so you can kind of become more grounded.
Yeah,
That's
I see
another
what you
way of me giving you compassion.
Yeah.
Which some people would say, let's directly attack the problem, but you're not always ready for that. You're not always open for it. So kind of diverting you away helps the kind of healing process in that respect. And then flipping over to compassion for oneself, that is similar to what I was talking about earlier. I think, and this is something I'm not very good at and I'm learning every day, is to take care of the inner child. You guys are great proponents of that. Components? I'm going to go with proponents of that. So kind of thinking about yourself in the way that you'd want someone to take care of you, and kind of becoming the protector, becoming the caregiver, becoming the light, and not beating yourself up. Things in life happen in various different ways, right? And you could go through a dark spell. And it's very easy, speaking for myself, to, you know the saying, when you point one finger, there's always three fingers pointing back at you.
Yes.
It's very easy to focus on those three fingers and say, Andrew, this is why you shouldn't have done this, you should have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have turned left instead of turning right, or whatever the case may be. And then sometimes you think, is that actually that useful? Is that going to help me move forward in any way? So being able to turn around and say, you know what, little me. And for me specifically, I'm kind of visual. It's very easy for me to imagine something. So I am looking at a little Andrew physically in my mind. And I'm saying, look, little me, there's nothing wrong with what you did. We are here. I'm here for you. Take my, and literally, I can feel it. Sorry. Take my hand and let's go together. Or if I'm feeling down, I try to kind of get into that like room within my body within my mind, I guess, and just give myself a little hug
Yeah.
and say, it's okay, don't worry, we're going to work through this, we're going to get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made my eyes water and I got goose pimples,
So
100%.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Compassion for oneself, compassion for others. Yeah, I think about this a lot. I mean, I talk about it a lot in therapy. It's talked about to me. The first thing that comes to mind is in the current culture. I don't know whether it's always been like this, or people talk a lot nowadays about society becoming more polarized. And I've been thinking a lot about how I think it's possible to have compassion for anyone, about anything, and how powerful that can be, and how difficult it is, and how, like, I want to say we, because I get the sense that other people feel like this too, but I'll say me, like how it's quite often I find it easier to find connection through judging others. But it's a very kind of shallow, hollow way to find connection with people. Actually, the sort of more interesting thing to do and the more helpful thing to do often is I think, but also it takes quite a lot of bravery sometimes to be like, well, yeah, that, say somebody did something bad, there'll be a reason why they did the bad thing. There's always a reason. And maybe it's interesting to think about that and to, yeah, just have understanding for that. And I feel like that's going to lead to something better most of the time. Not that we all have to be saints, but I guess that's more about compassion for others. Compassion for myself, I find a bit harder. I've got better at it, I think, but it's taken decades of therapy. Yeah. What do I want to say about that? Compassion for myself. I can be very self-critical. Like, it's kind of my default, to the extent that I haven't really realized until the last few years that I even do it. And it's a very hard thing to let go of, because it feels like it's useful and it feels like it's the right way to go about life. To be like, how can I do better? Like, what did I do wrong? What was successful? What's going to make people like me more? You know, not that I would think about it that explicitly using those words, but I think that's what goes on. And the tricky thing is as well, I think it feels like the same part of my brain that is just genuinely on a more technical level wanting to improve things like skills and stuff. And so it's hard to separate that out and realize that I think it's a very blunt object that I'm getting slightly confused here. I feel like applying that kind of level of judgment can be very useful, but it's just not the right tool for a lot of things. I think compassion for myself and for others is like, it's a little bit like letting go. Compassion is almost, it's not active. It's almost more passive in a way. Like, it's more just like it feels like it's, yeah, not holding on to something. It's letting go of something. And it feels like it can be accessing something which is already there underneath.
Compassion for others and compassion for oneself. Do I have compassion for myself? I don't know if I actually really think about myself. I just kind of live within the moment, go with the flow. So in terms of myself, I feel like I'm hibernating rather than actually thinking about myself. So therefore, I move on to compassion for others. Compassion for others. I like to feel I have compassion for others. My challenge is sometimes I may come over a bit rude to others, but I also expect others to be rude to me in terms of a bit of banter. Because I always believe, even though I give hard, I believe they could take hard and give hard back. That's how I see it. I believe everybody is capable. And sometimes I may go unfiltered towards someone because my belief is, I believe they're going to come back to me, probably hitting harder. And I accept that because I believe everyone is as strong as each other.
It's time for a Neville nugget.
Eury, do you want to pick a number from 1 to 13?
5.
5. Okay. The subconscious mind is not selective. It is impersonal. It is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feeling. It always accepts as true that which you feel to be true. Feeling is the assent of the subconscious to the truth of that which is declared to be true. Because of this quality of the subconscious, there is nothing impossible to a person. That's a big nugget.
It's a big chunky nugget, that one.
It's pretty golden. On with the podcast.
On with the podcast.
So the next lollipop is compassion for oneself. So when I think about that, I think the words, am I caring for myself? Am I mindful about myself? Am I loving of myself? Am I giving myself enough credit when credit's due? Am I bringing positive energy into my body, into my mind, into my soul, into my mouth? And am I letting maybe things that are happening in my everyday environment, am I beating myself up about it? Or am I being kind to myself? You know, everyone has this thing every now and again during the year. They're saying, oh, on adverts, oh, be kind. But do you have to start with being kind to yourself before you can be kind to others? And obviously, probably having a disability, compassion for oneself, myself, it probably has weighed quite a lot on my life roller coaster. Because perhaps maybe if I'm looking for compassion from other people, I have to learn how to be compassionate for myself at the beginning. And I can't ask something of others that I'm not willing to give myself. And perhaps maybe I don't have compassion all the time for myself. I think your environment, your expectation on oneself has a huge impact of that. And I have huge expectations of myself. So maybe the compassion is not always equal, should we say. And I think it can be quite a hard task in life to be compassionate for oneself. It may even be easier to be compassionate for other people. We might find it easier to do that rather than to do it for ourselves. For example, you know, a carer might feel easier to care for somebody, but they don't maybe show themselves enough care for themselves. I also think your life experience also plays a huge part in how much compassion you show yourself. And whether you might not even have any for yourself, because you might be beating yourself up about certain life experiences you've had. And perhaps that goes to make me think, well, do I have full understanding of that part of my journey to be able to have compassion for myself? Or do I not have that understanding? And so if I don't have that understanding, I'm not going to have lots of compassion. But I think it's a huge thing to have. It's not easy. You know, they always say you should love yourself first. But that can be very, very difficult. You know, you might not like something about you. For example, you might not like that you have lots of spots on your face. You might not like that you have curly hair. You might not like the fact that you might be one-handed. But where's the point that you show compassion and love for those points? And you only will show compassion probably when you start to accept yourself for who you are.
My lollipop stick is compassion for others. So I've chosen this one rather than compassion for oneself as the job I do, which is supporting adults with learning disabilities. So you need to have a compassion and an empathy. And also you need to be rather damaged yourself to do the job because you have that kind of empathetic response to people. So compassion for others isn't just about feeling sorry for people. It's about seeing the best for those individuals and what you can do to enrich their life and make their life happier. so that they have the same life experiences that everybody else around you'd wish them to experience. And that, to me, is compassion for others.
Oh, compassion for others. Wow, that's a big one. Compassion for others. I think I have compassion, or at least I certainly try to, but that sometimes gets lost in trying to work out how people need compassion. Compassion's one of those things, you can have it, but it's not necessarily helpful, I think. Compassion or empathy? I think empathy more than compassion a lot of the time, because I can't always understand. And I think compassion is about understanding, or at least in most circumstances, it's about understanding. And I can't say that I will understand because I haven't been in that position, or if I have, it's been the position I'm in, not the one they're in. But I can feel empathy. So, compassion for oneself. That is a tough one because it involves doing something for yourself. And I think most women are pretty rubbish at that. I'm certainly rubbish at it. Compassion for oneself, maybe looking after yourself a bit more. A lot more, not a bit more. What am I saying? Being as compassionate as you would be for someone else, but for you. And that's something that women need to support themselves with and other women to do. And I feel incredibly lucky that I've got friends that will do that. And sometimes it is about the sort of grabbing your friend and saying, not just look after yourself, but be kinder to yourself first. And we don't really think about that at all. We have a saying in our house, which is third after the dog we don't have, and we're not getting a dog. And that's very much how I think compassion for oneself works. You have to think of yourself before the dog that you don't have, and the kids, and the husband, and the partner, and the goldfish, and trying once in a while, and succeeding once in a while, in actually being first in your own thought. And that's a tough gig for most women.
Compassion for oneself. And then the other side says compassion for others. So I think I'll start with compassion for others. For me, that statement conjures up so much. It's about being selfless, it's about being thoughtful, it's about having empathy, love, regard, respect for an individual. It's about groups of people. It's about acceptance of a situation. It's about being able to put yourself in that person's shoes. And I suppose that's about empathy, isn't it, ultimately? Yeah, so compassion for others. I think I'm a person that is able to demonstrate compassion for others quite easily. And sometimes it can be, I don't know, I won't say to my detriment, but like, I have compassion for everything and anything, basically. If I see somebody in need, I will see myself in that need, essentially, okay, yeah. and be able to emulate and think about the person that's sort of going through that trial or that tribulation or whatever. And for instance, I've got this thing about when I see people who are in need, I have to help them in some way, shape or form. I don't know, I haven't got a strategy, but I just either, if I haven't got any money, say somebody needs something or some food or something, I'll go and buy them something, or maybe be a listening ear, or just let them know that they're loved. I love them. God loves them. Yes. Sounds a bit airy-fairy, but if it's important that people know that you that you value them and that you care and that you are able to maybe not help, but like just that you're there for them, you know, in a practical way or in a psychological sort of well-being way, you know, where you're able to just give for that moment. And in terms of compassion for myself, yeah, compassion for oneself, yeah, that's a difficult one. I don't know if I do. I think I'm getting better at it. I really do. I'm learning to have compassion for myself. I'm still learning about what that means and what that might look like. But I am getting better at nurturing myself. Yeah, and giving to myself, giving time to myself. And that's easier now because I had a time where I was very involved with care, you know, I was a caregiver for many years.
Yes.
But not really caring for myself or, you know, my partner, my children. Because you have to have compassion, don't you, for yourself, first and foremost, for you to be able to have compassion for others. And is it about compassion? Compassion sounds like it's a bit of a, you know, feel sorry for, you know, that person. But you've just got to be there, haven't you? You've just got to recognise the importance of everyone's value and that we all have needs and, yeah, that we are able to, that I'm able to respect that and honour that, I think. Compassion to me has no limits. There are no limits for oneself or others. And that can be a bit mad because, yeah, if I see somebody in need on the street who needs something to eat or whatever, I'll go off and I'll give them some money or whatever, or go and find some money to give them, or nick Chuppa's money and give it to them or whatever. But they've got to have what they need there and then. And if I can be a part of that, then fantastic. But I think I need to adapt my practice around having compassion for others and applying that to myself so that, you know, the same value base is there, essentially. Yeah, I'm not doing myself a disservice.
Thank you so much. Can we start by mentioning the dog we don't have and the goldfish?
Go for it.
I love Desiree's comment. At least put yourself before the dog that we don't have. And then later on she says about your partner, the goldfish. I love that. Because a lot of what people are saying is, generally, it's easier to be compassionate towards somebody else rather than oneself. Or at least there's a photo finish, but other people seem to come first.
Yeah. I definitely experienced that and have had to practice and learn how to be compassionate to myself. But I think for me that comes from understanding why that's important and experiencing what effects that has on others. So I can say, okay, maybe if I do that to myself, I'll have that experience. That's lovely. That's helpful. I want that experience.
Well, that's what Andrew was saying, wasn't he? About treating yourself how you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
And that took me back to the feeling that the inner child, or even my 5-year-old self-child, which is still your inner child, is the one I need to have compassion for, actually.
Yeah.
Because that was the version of me that was starting to make decisions about how to cope with the world she found herself in, the world of giants.
Yeah,
and all these coping mechanisms, and making decisions with only a little bit of information about the world of the giants, about what I should do, what I shouldn't do. And of course that has brought me all the way into my later life. And it's only when things have got unmanageable with those kind of coping mechanisms. Obviously I picked other stuff up along the way, but when I look at my behaviours that have been unhelpful in my later life, they all go back to decisions I made in those first in that first decade of my life. And so that's, for me, is where compassion mostly should be kind of like a carpet, a nice soft carpet I put under that part of my life, where I'm saying basically, well, it's no wonder you messed up. Because...
Or you're messing up.
Or you're messing up because of what happened to you, the decisions you felt you had to make, the way you felt you had to be in the world to deal with what was going on. Well, of course, if that's the decision you made, this is going to be the outcome. And when I can really, truly see that for myself, I start to look at other people who I think have messed up or I think are not doing a good job, including strangers I see on TV, strangers I see in the media. Strangers, I mean, people who, maybe they've got they're well known, but I don't know them personally, so they're a stranger to me. And if I think, oh God, why would you do that? Well, the reason is when they were 5, they were making decisions based on the little bit of information in the world of giants that they had to deal with. And yes, maybe they're being pulled up and called in and called out for what they're doing now. But without compassion for that child's decision, I'm just going to be another, little giant battering them over the head and saying, you should do better, you should do this. Well, what about myself?
Yeah. And I think that really segues really nicely into this principle of do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. But I've had to flip that and say, do unto myself as I'm doing to others when I'm nice, when it is helpful, when it is loving, because I really love that reflective nature of life. And that has really supported this compassionate practice, this daily practice of being appreciative, being grateful for myself, what I've brought to me, the harvest that I've managed to create, knowingly and unknowingly. The more I understand how I think about myself, how I feel, in fact, even more importantly about myself, the greater the harvest is, because then I can consciously feel what I do want about myself and really nourish that inner child that did make those decisions that were completely understandable with the information she had at the time. So I often stop now, especially at this time in my life, and just say, oh, it's okay. You're frightened and it's understandable that you would go to do that thing. But maybe with what we've learned since then, there's what are some other choices here? We don't have to go straight to that choice.
The kind of instant reaction and therefore reenactment of what would have happened. And of course, because of what we've talked about in previous seasons, if I have the same reaction, I'm going to keep bringing to myself, attracting to myself the same situations, like Groundhog Day. And in that film, he, bit by bit, comes to realise that, okay, this is the situation I'm in. How can I respond to it differently?
That's it.
Which is different from reacting. You're going to take responsibility for how you deal with the same scenarios. Have a different way of... You've got different information now. We were talking about information. You've got different information now. And in terms of this divine feminine, Joan was talking about this compassion that invites and includes everybody in every situation. Well, that's very much a divine feminine. There's no respecter of persons, as Neville says. It's impersonal, so it doesn't matter who you are. It's got something for you. If I have messed up, it's got another day for me. Let's do this again. Let's try this again. Learning to walk. Let's try this again. You failed. Let's try this again.
I love what you just said about learning to walk, because I've used that example so many times for myself and it works. So I help other people with it. How would you feel if that was a baby? Would you be really annoyed at the baby for not getting its first step right, or its first 20 or 1,000 steps right? No, hopefully not.
No, hopefully not.
You know, if you can have that compassion for a baby, which is so easy, so much easier, try that.
Yeah.
Try having that level of compassion and just think about that. So I do have that little, oh, what about the baby? And that's really beautiful. I wanted to also say about the divine feminine. I studied positive intelligence, and the sage is so much the divine feminine. I've always thought as soon as I heard about the sage, I didn't for one moment think of the masculine for some reason. I thought about the feminine, and this is the non-judgmental, forgiving nature. When you do come up against or amongst something that is unfavourable, saying, well, okay, how can I change this? How can I navigate so this is better? How can I innovate so this is more favourable? How can I see this person or this situation in a way that I do want it to be? How can I see the best of this person? Or at least in the moment, remember that this isn't all the person is.
Yeah.
You know, they might be unkind in the moment, but okay, but have you had nice experience of this person? You know, and usually, for me at least, I definitely have, even in the most crying of times.
Yeah. I think we're coming up to the 10-minute mark.
Lovely.
Shall we glean from what we've heard in this first? Because we're going to be coming back to compassion in the last episode, because we had so many people pick that lollipop stick. Shall we have some words of wisdom?
So I've got an acronym.
Yes, go on.
And it's called PUCKA.
PUCKA.
PUKA. Patience, understanding, kindness and acceptance.
I love that. PUCKA. And I'm going to add something that came through from what Cori and Mandy said, and Alex as well. So 2 things. Everyone struggles, everyone hurts, everyone's a bit damaged, everyone's invaluable. We can all handle it. But then limitless compassion offers that helping hand that help us to manage it, to cope.
Yeah.
Let go of your unhelpful judgments and you will discover the door to compassion for everyone and every situation. There's a passive act of letting go that allows access to something that is there underneath. I really like that. But can we finish by saying about the dog?
Again.
Yes.
Put yourself in front of the dog that you don't have.
Put yourself before the dog, the kids, the partner and the goldfish you don't have.
Yes.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for listening. This is the end of this first episode. You can get in contact with us, as Nina did say at the beginning of the show, consciouscuppa@gmail.com. Send in your mugshots. We're not on Twitter anymore. Well, we are on Twitter. Well, it's X now, but we're not updating that. Just go to YouTube or Spotify, but send us your mugshots.
Yeah, what are you slurping? What's in your mug, your cup, your glass? Share it with us and let us know.
Yeah.
And there's some big shouts out for our little soundbiters.
Our little soundbiter, in particular, Nina.
Yep.
The Lodgers. Dorian, with his big voice.
Lovely.
And Alex the First. Are you going to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
You usually do more than that.
Goodbye, and thank you so much for listening. I'm impressed with everything that has come together. It's been lovely.
And stay tuned to the very end of the show. You know what's coming up.
There's an Easter egg.
We'll see you next time on
See
the
you.
Conscious Cuppa
podcast. See you next time.
Thank you for waiting till the end of the show. And we have an Easter egg. And of course, because it's Divine Feminine, we thought we would kind of going back to season 2. You mentioned the Queen of Sheba.
Yes.
She had a bit of bling going on, didn't she?
Amazing.
But there's so many other women of the Bible. So we've prepared some lollipop sticks, and we're going to be, each episode, we're going to pick one and tell you about her. You want to go first?
Lovely. So we have Tabitha. Her name meaning is gazelle, and that's in Acts 9. What her name and what she means is clear-sighted and comes to the aid of those who need her.
Lovely.